So it's not too often that I wish away a hunting season, but if I had two words for this past 2020 hunting season as a whole, it would be good riddance. I think I spent more time in a tree this year than the leaves did, and I have nothing to show for it. I had opportunities that I passed, and there's things that happened, things didn't happen. It was a bad year, to say the least. So I'm already trying to write it off, looking forward to the 2021 season. And in doing so, there's a couple things that I plan to do a little different that I had thought about doing this year, but I just didn't feel like doing it or get around to do it. So I primarily hunt out of my climber, and there were spots this year that I wanted to hunt, but I just didn't feel like carrying my climber into it every time I wanted to hunt it. So something I want to do differently this year is I have hang-ons in my shed that I just don't use. I like to be at least 20 feet high or so, and I only have enough sticks to get the hang-on stands up to about 16 feet, and I'm sure that's high enough, and people have killed deer from that height, but I just have this mental block in my head that says I have to be at least 20 feet high or the deer are going to see me or something. This year I went searching for something I could use in conjunction with my climbing sticks to get me to that 20 feet mark, and there's two hang-ons down there, so I have two sets, so I needed something that I could use with both sets and get me to that desired height. I did some searching around and I looked on the internet at different options, and what I found I think what's going to work for me is the Steppladder by Wild Edge. Just looking at these overall and things on their website, they look like they're going to be great. I'm going to do a little bit of a review here for you today so you get some information on it. Now, I haven't been completely bitten by the saddle hunting bug yet. A lot of you have, and these I think would be very good for saddle hunting. And once we get outside, I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But so as a whole, this whole package came in a box in this bag, and the steps are in here, and the ropes, and the bag, and the box, and the packaging. The whole thing, the shipping label on the box said 8 pounds, and there's 8 steps in here. So, I mean, I'm not a math wizard, but you're looking at about a pound a step, which isn't too bad. And as far as price point goes, for these 8 steps, I paid similar to what you would pay for a good set of climbing sticks, like a Lone Wolf set or a good Hawk set. The price is right there. So, like I said, I'll show you a little bit more about the stuff when we get outside. A couple things, though, to know about this Wild Edge is the step itself was invented by a Vietnam War veteran, and the company Wild Edge is owned by another veteran who was a military police officer in the National Guard. So that right there is 2 reasons to buy this. And a third reason is they're made right here in the great US of A up in Connecticut. And just looking at the way that these are designed and a couple of the things on their website, which, like I said, I'll tell you a little bit more about when I get outside, they really thought of everything. So for starters, the back of these have kind of sharp teeth on them, and this bag is just like a nylon material or something. I'm not really sure what it is, but so they went ahead and sewed these leather strips in there to prevent the teeth on the steps from coming through the bag. You can buy these steps in packs of 5, 8, 10, 12, and 16. And you can also buy them individually if you want. They also have not just these, but a lot of stuff for saddle hunting on their website. They actually have saddles themselves. They have all the ropes and carabiners that you would need. A great company, and like I said, veteran owned. So if you're looking to spend some money, at a system to get up and down your tree, I'm going to say this is a good option. Like I said, I haven't really messed with them yet. I'm going to get outside. We're going to put them on the tree and stuff, and I'll show you how they work, and then I'll give you a grand overview when I'm done. But just as far as after unboxing them and checking them out, I'm already a believer. So once we get outside, I will we'll walk you through the process and see how it goes. Okay, folks, here we are at my tree of choice. I'll show you the process the way that they describe it on the website, and I'm pretty new to this, so I mean, it's still a learning curve for me, so I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm going to do it the way that they recommend, and we'll just see how it goes. That's all we can really do right now. I'm still learning as well, so we'll see. What you want to do is when you get to your tree, you want to open your bag up like this, and your ropes are just going to be coiled up in there, or however you had them last. And you just want to throw them out the top like this. Get them all coming out, and then you zip it back up. Just like that. Alright, so once you got your ropes all out the top of the bag, kind of just put the bag over your side like this, and you let your ropes hang up the top. Now, see, if you use your typical climbing sticks and you're trying to climb a tree, it's kind of hard because you have to hang 2 of them off your belt. This is if you want to do it in one trip. You hang 2 off your belt, you put your first one on, and then you have to climb up onto your first one while holding onto your second one. With this, all of your steps are right here. Alright, when you're putting it on the tree, you want to take these flat standoffs, they call them. You want to put it up against the tree. However high you want to go with it, you want to make sure it's comfortable for you. You know, is the big thing. So now when you do the knot, when you get it started, you want to make sure that the rope comes between this standoff. You want to keep it between these 2 pieces right here. You don't want it through it or above this, or you want it right there, okay? So now when I do the knot, I'll show you. So what you want to reach, you get this here about where you want it. You reach this rope. Now I'm standing on ice, so this isn't great, but when you reach the rope around the tree like this, and then I'll show you a close-up here for the knot. What you want to do is you want to come through the triangle piece like this, okay, through the triangle piece, and you take it over, and you want to come back up. You want to go between the rope and the curve here and the top of the rung. Hopefully you can see that. My fat hands aren't in the way. Kind of like that there. And you pull it up through. Now you got this loop right here. You got this loop here. You want to run it down through the loop. And pull it tight. You might have to, depending on where you're at, you might have to adjust it. But that's your knot there. And once you get your knot tied and it's on the tree, all you do is you raise it up above the curve of the strap, and you cam it down, just like that. And that step is set. So I actually went ahead and put my second step on, just because I'm going to be climbing up there. Until you get used to it, it's going to take you a few tries. I had to adjust like the tension on the ropes on both of them to get them biting good and solid. Now one thing I want to point out is I'm right-handed, so typically I would climb with the bag on my right side, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to climb with it on my left side. Just imagine that this would be on your dominant hand side. So once you have your first 2 steps in here, or however you decide you want to do it, if you want to do 1 step at a time, that's fine too. But make sure, before you leave the ground, hook up your lineman's belt and just always be safe. So once you get stepped on here, alright, so now I'll tighten my belt up here. See, and you can put both feet on them. There's definitely a little bit of a learning curve. Not a whole lot. I mean, I feel like with some practice, which I'm going to say definitely practice. But I feel like with some practice, if you got good enough at it, I think you could do this pretty quick. And then when you pull it tight, like I said, you'll pull it good and tight. Pull it up as high as you can. And cam it over. That one's sitting good and solid. So, like I said, couple trial and error, and you'll get it figured out. So one other thing is, how high you get with these really depends on how much of a step you want between them. I've seen videos where guys get 20 feet up in the tree only using 4 steps by using the Nader Swader system. That's great. It's less weight to carry, but that's a lot more fumbling around in the dark than I want to do. I would much rather just have either these all the way up, or like I said, a climbing stick and then one of these, a climbing stick. It's just, I like to go there in the dark and just go up and not have to worry about doing any of that. But with an 8er, you could get probably 18 to 20 feet with just 4 of these. So that's going to depend on how much work you're willing to put in to get up the tree. So there's definitely a learning curve to it. If you get a set, I recommend coming out in your yard like I am here and practicing and getting the process down. And I mentioned that they have a lot of stuff for saddle hunting, and what I think makes it really nice is they actually make a platform that you could stand on while you're saddle hunting that hooks right into these. It kind of goes down in and tilts forward, and it hooks right onto these steps. So you don't got to strap it up. They do make a platform that straps around the tree too, but the other one I think would be much easier. You wouldn't have to worry about strapping anything. And they also make a bow hook or gun hook that spans between the pieces, and the leverage kind of holds it forward. So again, no screwing it in. Everything's public land legal. So I'm going to go ahead and get these taken down and get them packed up, and I'll meet you guys back inside for some final remarks. So after the full review process, I will say that they do require a little bit of trial and error to get familiar with how tight to tie your ropes and how high to go above the rope before camming it over, and just finessing it and figuring out what you need to do to make them sit good and solid for you. I recommend taking them out and practicing with them. Get them, a couple months before season if you're going to buy them, and get familiar with them, practice with them. Don't just buy them, and then go out there the first time you use them is when you're going to hunt. I plan on practicing with them a lot more over the summer, and I initially had said that I was going to use them in conjunction with my climbing sticks, but now I'm feeling like I might just buy more and use just these, or I might just buy enough to get me up into one of my stands and just use both sets of my climbing sticks to get me into the other one. But if you're a saddle hunter, I definitely recommend looking at their website. You can be pretty much fully geared up and ready to go just by visiting their website. And I'll actually throw the website down here in the bottom, and I'll also put it in the description also. But yeah, I'm a believer in them, and I'm happy I bought them. And like I said, I look for more of them to be showing up on my doorstep in the future. So with all that, I will be signing off, and I thank you all for watching, and happy and safe hunting out there.